Okay, so today we're going to be working on my Skyline here. I'm going to be doing some front speakers. They're the door speakers here. I recently upgraded the radio to a Bluetooth model. The other tape deck kind of sucked, so went ahead and upgraded that. And now the speakers are the next on the docket. So they're right here in the door panel. They're 4x6s, and I'll show you how to take the door off. It's actually pretty easy. It's looking at it, it looks pretty much the same as like a 240SX S13 would be. So you can go ahead and get started on it. Really all you need is basic hand tools for this, so I'll show you how we go ahead and get that off. Okay, so giving it a quick look over, right now we've got on the bottom 2 Phillips right here, and then up here there's going to be 2 of them behind those little plugs here, and then the door handle trim is going to have to pop off, and then there's a little cap in here in the door pull. You pop that off and there's going to be a screw under there, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright, nothing broken so far. So now we've got all the screws off. I'm just feeling around to double check. Okay, so it's all off. So if it's like an S13, there's going to be a bunch of clips down at the bottom, and you can get your hand right behind them and pop them off. I feel like there's a hard one right here. Huh, not sure what this is all about. Kind of cool. Not really sure what that was for. Okay, forgot to mention, this should pop off. And then we're loose, so now I'm going to push up, and we got a door panel off. It looks like a couple of the clips were actually missing, so this has definitely been apart before. You can tell because this stuff right here has all been taken apart before, which 30-year-old car, can't expect it to be untouched. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on from here. You can see right up here they had glue, so yeah, this has been around the block a couple times. Really should replace this door panel, but they're extremely hard to find. Alright, so our 4x6 is right down there in the corner. Just a couple Phillips, or 4 Phillips there holding it in, so I'm going to pop them off. So here's our speaker, obviously the original speaker here. I'm not sure if it used to have some rubber surround, but if it did, it's definitely gone, because all you see is plastic stuff around it. So these definitely have seen better day, and they don't sound great. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the speakers that I'm putting in, and then show you how we put them in. There's really nothing to it, but we just got to adapt to this plug right here, since this is not a standard like what would be on an aftermarket, so we'll go ahead and adapt to this. Okay, and as far as wiring this, you probably can't tell on camera, but right here it has a plus and a minus, so you know, positive, negative. So easy there, so we'll convert that over to the plug there. And I don't actually have any plugs like these on hand right now, so I'm going to just splice in behind them. I'm not going to cut the plugs off. Some people do that. I don't like cutting those plugs off. Obviously nobody's ever going to put these speakers back in, they're blown, but if down the line I sell it and somebody wants to put original speakers for whatever freak reason, you know, they'll have the options. Okay, and these are the kicker speakers that I'm going with, and you can see right here I've bent the ears a little bit in. Reason being for that is this part sticks out a little more than what their bracket is. Bending these ears out of the way isn't a big deal. These are just, you can see it's got various different holes for different speaker setups. Ours are going to line up on these outside ones, these ones with the slots here on the bottom. So I basically just had to bend these out a little bit, and really it took nothing. I just pushed them on there and they kind of bent themselves. So it's not a big deal, and you're not messing with the shape of it or anything like that, or anything goofy like that. So you're not going to get any reduced sound output or anything like that. Okay, so matching up by what the factory speaker said, the brown is going to be your positive, and the black with a red stripe is going to be your negative. And so I went ahead and stripped a little bit of the insulation on each one, and I'm going to poke a hole through it and then wrap around the wire from the little harness that came with it. It came with this harness here, and this is way too long, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit because you don't need that much extra wire in there. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this down, strip it, and then tap into them, tape it up, and we should be good to go. Okay, so I've went ahead here and stripped away the insulation, and then I'm going to go ahead, and since it's stranded wire, there's multiple strands there, so I'm going to poke through the middle here, and then I'm going to take which one's my positive, which on this is the solid gray, and I'm going to put it through the hole and then wrap it around it there. And then I'll do the same thing for the negative here. Just poke it through, and I'm going to wrap it around. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and solder that connection there and wrap it up with some tape. Alright, so now I've got both of those connections taped individually, and I'm just going to wrap a little bit of tape around each of them as well. Or around both of them together, rather. Alright, and there we go, we're good there. Only other thing I'm going to do, since now this plug here is exposed on the ends here, I'm just going to put a little bit of tape on there. Okay, so we got it mounted in there. It's nice and tight, it's not going anywhere. One thing I don't like, there's a little tiny gap right here, so I'm going to loosen these up and see if I can maybe position it up a little bit. Okay, so there it is finished up. I wasn't able to slide it up much more, so there is a very slight gap there, which I don't like. So I don't have any on me right now, but I'm going to end up probably putting a little piece of Dynamat in there just to help any air that might escape from there, because that'll cause a bad effect on the base, because you'll have a lot of air escaping there. Not that this size is really ideal for much bass anyways, but I'm not going to be doing subwoofers or anything like that in this vehicle, so this is going to basically be a nice speaker system upgrade. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this door back together and then move on to the passenger side. Alright, we got the door panel back together, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to the passenger side. Pretty simple so far, but just kind of documenting it for anyone who doesn't know or is afraid to do it. Alright, so a quick look over at this door panel. Got the same handle, same couple of screws hidden there. We got two down at the bottom. Difference here is that handle here. And if it's like an S13, you can have something here. So I've got, looks like a cap here to pop off, probably going to be a screw or a bolt right there. And then I'm not sure if this window switch is going to pop out or not. It feels like it will, but it also feels like it gets stuck part way out. So I'm going to wait on that until I pop this out and see what we have. Because in the S13, you, I believe, unscrew one thing and then it kind of tilts out. So I wonder if that's maybe the case here. So we'll take a look. But I'm going to go ahead and get started and take this apart. Here we go. As you can see, you kind of just got to pop these out. These are pretty rigid, even being 30 years old almost. So, okay, so it feels like there's going to be something behind this. So let's see what I can do about popping this out without breaking it. Okay, so that one's a little tricky to get out. And then there's a screw behind there, so I'm going to pop that off. Alright, and that's a larger screw, just like the one down here. And then, it looks like this was broken before at some point, because this clip is a little floppy, so maybe I'll put some type of adhesive on there to hopefully keep it from flopping around. But I can't unplug this because it's kind of an integrated plug here, so I'm thinking there's a plug behind the door panel. So as of now, I don't see anything else to take off, so I'm going to go ahead and try and pop her off. Okay, yep, I was right. There's a harness plug behind there. Kind of weird, but not a big deal. Alright, and this, you can tell this door has also been apart. Now, positive is the blue, and then the negative is the black and white. So positive blue, negative black and white. And I'll just go ahead and wire it in just like before. I don't really need to show it since you already saw it on the other side, but I'll show you once it's done. Alright, and here we go. You can see all finished up on this side as well. You got the little bends here on the ears, not a big deal, but yeah, and here I have a slightly smaller gap, so not as bad, but I'm definitely gonna go ahead and fix that later. Alright, so we're all set here on the passenger side as well. And I tested them out already. They sound much better. Still got to do the rears. The rears are the ones that are really blown. They sound really crackly, but this is going to be an improvement either way. So, yep.